Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, I'd like to bring to your attention a fellow content creator, and her channel's called Far From Eden. Now, understandably so, I do peruse quite a lot of these content creators, and it gives me a little something to react to. But I happened upon this woman. I don't know how she came up into my algorithm, but she did. And I listened to her podcast. I was first thrown by the name of the podcast, Why Young Men Aren't Dating. Yada, yada, yada. So I thought I'd give it a listen, and I was totally, completely, utterly blown away. I found it absolutely fantastic that this woman is commenting on the trials of being a man in 2024. Now, usually when we get this kind of commentary, we usually get things that are completely unsympathetic towards men, blaming everything on men. Hell, I was even talking to a lady the other day that said that men don't take accountability. I've also found that any advice that a man has to give to a woman is usually discounted, discredited, looked at with confirmation bias simply because you're a man. I've actually seen the same advice given only moments later by a woman to another woman, and it hits home. It gets absorbed, it gets taken on board. So, with any hope, women will watch this video and have a listen to what the lady has to say.
Welcome to Far From Eden. It's good to have you here. We know that men are walking away from relationships. We know that they are the gatekeepers of relationships. They're the ones that get to pick, so to speak. But they don't like the selection right now. And they're allowed to not like the selection right now. And a lot of times, I think, especially for me, I focus on maybe some of the older men that have, already been through the ringer, been through family court, been, divorced, etc. But what's going on with the younger generation? Has this trickled down to them?
Okay, so she's setting up her whole podcast on the situation of why men are lonely, why men are not dating. She comes up with some statistics later on. I obviously can't play the whole video, but I'm going to put the link in the description underneath because I really want you to come and check out this lady's video. She is absolutely amazing the way her whole outlook really, and the fact that it's coming from a woman, it's possible that it could fall on some ears that are listening.
Are the younger men seeing what's gone on with the generations that went before them? Because it appears that young men, Gen Z, as it were, which would be basically people in their 20s right now, they're not dating. And we're going to dive into why. An article was posted February 9th of this year, 2024, written by a gentleman named Daniel A. Cox. I did see his picture. He, to me, looks like a baby because, being older now, all the people who are young look like babies. He could be 28 for all I know. But the reason I say is it looks like he's of the generation that he is writing about.
Okay, that's interesting. It's very interesting. We've got an article here that's been written by a man about what's going on with men in a men's environment from a man's perspective. Usually when you get these articles, they're written by women, what a man should be like, what men should be feeling, and how men should be acting. So this is going to be quite interesting. Another interesting thing that she does here is she brings up a interesting phenomenon where when you argue with somebody or when you have a conversation with somebody, someone will pull out the phone and he'll type in Google, blah, blah, blah. Google will spit back some kind of answer. People are starting to take this as fact. They're not aware or understand or willing to even entertain the fact that Google may be incorrect or just outright lying to you. I mean, how easy would it be to brainwash people if you just told Google what to say?
I had to hunt down because I figured out I don't think Google necessarily wants you to know who the source is. I think they just want you to look things up and go, the internet told me. Maybe not about this kind of information because I have not read the whole thing. I don't know. Is this Beta 5? Is this Symbology 101? I don't know yet. But I'm very curious to know what's going on with the younger men, because that is that projects what the future will be. And they're not all going to be like Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs, who just did the commencement speech that's seems to be rocking
God
the
bless
world
Booker.
right now.
God bless Booker. All right.
All right. It's entitled Gen Z's Romance Gap. Why nearly half of young men aren't dating.
Wow. That's absolutely incredible. She goes on to refer to different times in our history and how important dating and socializing is for young ones and teens. I mean, that's how you build your identity. That's how you get to know each other. That's how you learn how to operate within a standard in society, by talking to people, getting it wrong, and then doing it again. Okay, again, I'm going to forward this because it goes on for about almost an hour, 47 minutes. So I'm just going to forward it to a few highlights on this little statistic that she's going to drop on you here. Check this out.
For most Americans, the decline of teen pregnancies is a reason to celebrate. And for many, falling rates of teen sex represent an equally positive development. But it's not just sex that's declined among teens. It's romantic relationships overall. Teens are dating less. A survey conducted by the Survey Center on American Life found that only 56% of Gen Z adults and 54% of Gen Z men,
Shocking.
54% of Gen Z men said they were involved in a romantic relationship at any point during their teenage years. Wow.
Wow.
This represents a remarkable change from previous generations where teenage dating was much more common. More than 3/4 of baby boomers.
Do you understand what that statistic means? What they're saying is half the teenagers and half the people in their early 20s and half the adults as well are going through their lives without experiencing a relationship. Wow. Okay, so now she's going to talk about what the probable causes are for this decline in dating, and one of those is social media. Now check this out.
Okay, so we have 3 reasons teens aren't dating. There seem to be 3 probable causes of the dating decline: immersive technology, parental supervision, and changing norms. There are lots of reasons to fret over smartphones and social media. See the commentary from Jonathan Haidt for an overview. Okay, I don't know where that is. One underappreciated aspect of their usage is that they can promote passivity. Too many teens watch online imitations of life experiences instead of having their own.
I've seen this.
More teens are content watching from the sidelines rather than becoming active participants in their own lives. Did you guys?
Okay, I remember this as well because this actually was a growing phenomenon for when I was coming into my early 20s. I saw that instead of playing computer games, people would rather sit and watch. And even when offered the joypad, they'd be like, no, it's okay, I like to watch. So they were getting that experience living vicariously through somebody else. And I found that a little bit odd. And then later you started getting all of these Minecraft and game streams that you're getting on the internet where teenagers are sitting there and they've got the game, but they're sitting there watching it. And she talks about the effect of that.
You guys know that there are videos on YouTube of kids playing with toys, and other kids
Toys as well.
will watch those videos of the kids playing with toys rather than play with toys themselves. And it isn't because they don't have the toys or whatever. They're just watching other people. You know what happens when you're always watching a screen? You look like this.
Emotionless.
You don't learn to sort of emote off of another person, right? It's just you're passive, you're taking it in. And I noticed this when I was tutoring. I was like, these people are a little off because they were raised staring at screens.
Ain't that truth?
And it's very hard to relate to another human when only the majority of humans you've seen as a young person was through a screen. And I don't know if Gen Z had, tablets when they were in their carriers, like some of the ones behind them, the Gen Alphas, but they certainly had it at a young enough age where this passivity thing is real.
Yeah, and I noticed something else as well. Back in the day, you could talk to somebody, you could be a little bit odd, you could be a little bit weird, you could be a little bit excited, and everything was okay. If you were a little bit odd, the other person would tell you, hey, you're a little bit weird, aren't you? But the conversation would continue. But nowadays, when you try to talk to somebody, you have to say everything absolutely perfectly with the right timing. Otherwise, that person's just simply going to walk away. The attention span is shot to hell, and there seems to be an inability to be able to actually converse with somebody in the real world. But put it on the other hand, when you talk to them by text message, you can be talking to them for 4 hours by text message. But then even that's gone a little bit strange now. Have you noticed the way there's some kind of rule that says that if you talk to somebody, if you can type 3 lines of text or more, then they'll stop talking to you because you're too eager or you're a weirdo or whatever crap they're coming out with today.
The preferred age for getting married has shifted steadily older over the last few decades. In 2020, Gallup found that more than half of Americans believe that the ideal age for men to get married is late 20s or later. I agree with that. In fact, a lot of men aren't really ready for marriage until 30.
This is true.
Because men have to kind of go out and become men.
Whoa!
Whereas women, we're kind of like, we don't do that.
She said it. Okay, she's just echoed one of the sentiments that those guys in the red pill have been talking about for quite some time. What she's basically said, ladies and gentlemen, is that men have to earn their worth. Men have to go out there and build a life. They have to build a status. They have to build a network, a structure to be able to be a man, to attract a woman, where women don't. Women are born with your value. Women are born and they're beautiful, they're youthful, and they can just go out, and if they're good, nice people, attractive people, and they've looked after themselves, they're able to get themselves a good quality man. Damn, lady.
With you and argue with that and think that their story has that kind of an arc too, and that they can better themselves, and that's why they think they're better at 40 than they were at 20. And I'm sorry, that's just not true.
Wow. Okay, she's just said that women are not better at 40 than they are at 20. Now, I'm not going to start disrespecting and ripping women by saying 20-year-olds are better than 40s, even though I agree that obviously they do look more attractive. But the thing is that women are trying to equate themselves to men. Women are trying to say, okay, at 20, I've got nothing. I need to go out there and build myself up, build an income, get a house, get a car on finance, do this, yada, 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 yada. But the thing is, no man is interested in what a woman's income is. No man is interested in what a woman's status is. As a matter of fact, I would say that it's detrimental to a woman finding success in a relationship the more higher up she goes in that man's kind of world, in that hierarchy kind of world. So what you've got is women who are getting degrees, they're looking absolutely fantastic, they look absolutely amazing in their 20s, yet they focus their whole lives on getting qualifications and climbing up that corporate ladder. So by the time they get to 40, they've got themselves in a really nice situation, they've got themselves maybe a 6-figure income, a nice house, but they've turned into what you would call boss babes, women who don't really exhibit the general feminine qualities that a man is looking for. Now, there's a lot of copes that go around. There's a lot of people that turn around and say, oh, men want a dominant woman. Men want a woman in charge. Men want a woman that's earning this, that, and the other. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't want a woman that's masculine, because to get as far as you did in life, in such a corporate environment, you have to take on a lot of masculine traits. I'd rather just go out and date a guy. What's the difference? You know? Another thing is a woman's income. If she's earning like 6 figures or 5 figures, come on. Are you really going to share that money with your husband? No. Because I remember the age-old saying, what's mine is mine, and what his is ours, right? And to be really honest with you, the way men are raised, we're not going to be very proud in taking money off a woman, because it's one of the things that we aspire to as men. We want to be able to look after our women. We want to be able to take care of them. We want to be able to provide and protect. This isn't taking money off a woman. And that's another case as well. At the end of the day, there's a biological clock. Okay, a lot of people will say, oh, fertility goes down for men as well, but just take a look at the graphs yourself. A man is still well capable of having a baby into his 60s. But women, unfortunately, once you get to 35, you've entered into a geriatric pregnancy, unfortunately. Okay, and then she also goes on to talking about roles, levels, hierarchy in relationships, how two people can't be the boss, but I'll let her talk about that because she explains it really, really well. Here we go.
If establishing a healthy relationship is a life goal, there is no reason that men or women should delay in developing skills necessary to its achievement. I agree. However, before you can, figure out how to be a good partner, and I'm saying partner like that because partner, it has the connotation of we are equal and we are the same, and those relationships, there's a lot of friction, and the woman tends to take.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This woman's hitting out the box. Every smack is a home run. Oh my God, she's killing it. Hold on. Cook lady, carry on.
Control, because somebody's got to be the leader. It just is. You can't have, two captains of the ship. It doesn't work. You can have a first mate, and they matter, but they're the first mate, and they have first mate jobs. Captain has captain jobs. And being a captain has a lot of pressure, and I wouldn't want to be one. So, yeah. So Before you can become, find like what you're looking for in a partner, you have to be who you're supposed to be.
Damn, this lady is killing it. My God, truth, dropping bombs, ripping people up. Woo! Damn, I'm telling you, she's covering a whole load of stuff, a whole load of topics. So later on, I've just skipped it now. Later on, she talks about girls in school. Now, we've all seen a girl who's 16, 15, putting makeup on, and the way that they're built today and the styles that they got, it's very hard to be able to differentiate the difference, especially if you don't talk to 10 individuals. They've been doing this for years to get into clubs that were 18, 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds will put makeup on and they're built to get into clubs. We've heard about it in the news, men who have slept with women thinking and being told that they were 19, 20, but they've actually turned out to be 15 and 14. We know quite well that this exists and it's a phenomenon. But when you introduce social media and Instagram, and you've got these girls who are putting makeup on themselves and looking absolutely amazing, 10 years older in some cases, and putting it on Instagram with no evidence of them being in school, no exam results, no school holiday reports, just a picture of those thirst traps. It's kind of hard to know who's who and how old each girl is. So what effect is that having on dating and boys in school of the same age? I'll let her explain it. Here we go.
There's an elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Bueller? There's an elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The females in school, the teenagers, are on Instagram. They're getting likes and attention from all kinds of guys.
All kinds of guys.
They're not looking at the guy they sit next to in history class.
Ain't that the truth?
Who's got a crooked smile, but he's funny and he seems really sweet. They're not looking at him. They're on Instagram craving the validation and attention of as many guys. Why have a boyfriend? They don't need that. They don't crave the realness.
You see, I've always wondered about this thing about validation and sex with women. Women like sex, men like sex. I guess that guys may like it more. But a woman's need for validation is so high that she can even take that validation over sex. If she doesn't need to have sex to get that validation, it's a win. For example, she gets a guy who's what they call a simp, okay? So he's giving her like sort of the girlfriend experience. He's spending time with her, he's spending money on her, he's taking her places, he's entertaining her phone call when her head's done in, and he's sorting it out and everything else, but he's getting no sex. The reason why he doesn't get any sex is because she doesn't have to give him the sex, because she's getting all that validation without having to give the sex up. Where on the other hand, you can have a girl who goes to a club and she can see a really, really rich guy. He's got the VIP section at the top. He dresses amazing. He's got a Lamborghini. She wants his validation because his validation is worth 20-fold more than your normal guy. So to get that validation, he's a little bit more advanced in his game. He's not going to just go and give that woman validation. He's going to sleep with her first. So she'll sleep with him. She'll enjoy the sex. But she'll get that validation. And in her mind, it'll now escalate her status. She'll now think, this is the kind of guy that I can retain and keep. And that's the validation that she'll get.
They've got so much fakery with the likes and the followers and whatever. What do they want with some puppy love?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. This Far From Eden, I'll put her link in the description underneath. I'd love you to go out and check out this video of hers and a few of the others as well that she's done. I think everything that she said's been golden. She's been knocking the ball out of the park. She's been making home runs. She's been killing people. She's been laying people down. She's absolutely awesome. She's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to be checking in on her anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been a Drippin Reaction. Thank you very much. Far From Eden.